Good morning, Covenant Baptist Church from the third annual Reformed Baptist Network General Assembly. I'm here at Reformed Baptist Church of Riverside. You can see we're here in Riverside, California. It's a beautiful sunny day. You can see behind me the freeway. And this church has been so gracious to host us this last 4 days. I'm just about to leave, and we're in the final break here, but it's been a beautiful time of fellowship and instruction and encouragement in the Word of God. And I just, instead of our usual CBC this week, I thought I'd do a video CBC this week to give you a sense of just some of the things that were encouraging and helpful about our time here. First of all, one of the things that I think is really encouraging for us to remember is that the gospel is advancing around the world. One of the things that is so wonderful about coming here is that we have the opportunity to hear reports from missionaries around the world. And this year, in God's grace, I was nominated and I was elected to serve on the Reformed Baptist Network Missions Committee. And this is after having served on the original membership committee and the GA planning committee. I had taken a break last year from serving in an official capacity, as the elders had determined that we wanted to focus on getting the church plant established in Barbados. Having done that, we had a discussion about what would be strategic and helpful to our church. And one of the things that we are concerned about is the advance of missions around the world. And so I attended my first missions committee meeting while I was here. And it was just so encouraging to hear of presentations about planned church plants. There's a planned church plant and discussions about places like Portugal and Kenya and Latin America. It's just a truly encouraging thing. I was able to connect with a new church here that's in Western North Carolina, actually right near where we were when we planted the church in Asheville. And their church has a church planter that's going out to, that is actually, they've been moved from Nicaragua to Puerto Rico, trying to connect that to some folks in our church. Also, just hearing reports, yesterday, Brother Jim Adams from the Cornerstone Church in Mesa sought to encourage us, and he was telling about how the gospel is advancing leaps and bounds in Latin America. He spoke of this church in El Salvador that it was a Pentecostal church, and they had been listening to Reformed preaching on the radio, and they had invited the Reformed preacher to come, and he had sort of hesitated a little bit because of the connection there, but eventually he came, and when he came, he preached for, I believe it was almost 12 hours straight. He had, I think it was 5 or 6 services, and each service had thousands of people in it who were hungry for the Word of God. So it was just an encouragement to hear the advance and the work of various men, including our friend Obed Rupertus and others. And of course, this is the first time that the Reformed Baptist Network is having a Spanish after conference. I won't be here, and of course I won't do that, but I had the opportunity to see Salvador Gomez. And Salvador is the pastor of probably the largest Reformed Baptist church in the world in the Dominican Republic. And it has thousands of members. And so it's just been very encouraging on the missions front to see and just to hear. Of course, we've seen many of the friends and pastors that have come through the doors of the Covenant over the last several years. Pastor Steve Woodman, Pastor Matt Foreman, Pastor Chris Marley, Pastor Chad Bennett, and others that you perhaps have not met, but are certainly praying for the work here in Toronto. We have been very blessed to have these partners and friends here at the Reformed Baptist Network. over the last 3 years that the network has been there. There's also some exciting news for us as a church. Some of you know that we have had a partnership we sought a partnership with the seminary in order to provide training for our brothers and sisters too in the church who would like to grow in their understanding of the gospel and take courses with the seminary, particularly the men preparing for ministry, those who have expressed an interest. And I had an opportunity to talk with several of the board members of the Reformed Baptist Seminary, and we're moving closer to working that out. It sounds like we have an agreement in principle to move forward with that, and so we'll be sharing some details of that in the weeks and months to come. But this is an important step for us in establishing an opportunity for men particularly to train in place in the local church for pastoral ministry and discipleship. And so I just wanted to give you a few of those details and to encourage you in that. Of course, it's always hard to be away from you all. I know I've been away more this year than in previous years, and there are reasons for that, obviously, with our work in Barbados and trying to advance, trying to support the advance of that. But in God's providence, I think it's been a real strategic opportunity for us as a church, and we rejoice in the kind of things that this enables. This is such an encouraging time to be encouraged in the Word. The preaching of the Word has been good here, and we have been urged to sacrifice towards missions, and that has been a real theme here, and an encouragement to hear men who are facing some of those challenges on the field. So I look forward to seeing you, Lord willing, on Sunday. This Sunday, the pastor will be Pastor Lee, my dad, preaching in the morning service, and I will be preaching in the evening service, and I will look forward to greeting and seeing you all there. I'm just going to take you around a bit here so you can see. I don't know if I can get this thing to move around, but I've just give you an idea. There's Pastor Mark Chansky over there, and some others here from there. We're just going in. We're on just about to go on a break here, so maybe we still be in here. Just take you inside the church a little bit. Malcolm Griswold over there in Detroit. And we have Jim Adams over here.
Hey.
This is just saying hello to Covenant Baptist Church in Toronto.
Algun dia. Someday we'll visit you there.
Yes,
God willing.
We'll have a conversation about that.
To
All
God
right.
be the glory.
Thank you. And we're going in here. Just getting a sense of it. Take you into the cry room here. You can see what's going on. I believe in assembly right now. There's a live report. I believe this gentleman is from. I'm not sure. I can't quite see his face, but this will give you an idea. You can see some of the folks who are sitting here, and we've just had really sweet fellowship throughout. So thank you for affording me the opportunity to come out here, and may the Lord use this to encourage us as a congregation, and to help us to remember that God has provided partners and encouragement. On yesterday night, we had a lovely reunion dinner with some of the former interns of Grace Baptist Church of Taylor's, where I was an intern during my seminary years, and we were recalling the foundations of that time there, and how the Lord used that powerfully in the life of our church, in terms of helping us at a time where we were stretched financially, and the churches that church at the time provided the basis, and Pastor Bob Self and Pastor Jamie Howell in particular. So we have a real kinship with these brothers here, and we are very thankful for the Lord's work through them, and giving and equipping us to carry the gospel forward in Toronto. Anyway, I look forward to seeing you all. I love you, and we'll see you on the Lord's Day. Bye for now, from Riverside, California.